The original Red Ranger was sentenced to federal probation in 2025. The Blue Ranger was harassed so badly he attempted conversion therapy. The Green Ranger took his own life, and the Yellow Ranger never made it past 27. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers made billions and paid its stars $600 a week. This is what happened to the cast after the cameras stopped rolling. Some of these stories are genuinely hard to believe. We're covering all 16 major cast members, from the Rangers to Bulk and Skull, to the voice actors who made Rita and Lord Zed iconic. Let's start with the one who made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Austin St. John played Jason Lee Scott, the original Red Ranger from 1993 to 1994. He was the leader, the one kids looked up to most. Austin left the show in 1994 over a pay dispute, then vanished from Hollywood completely. He became an EMT, spent 4 years as a combat medic in the Middle East. By the 2010s, he'd returned to conventions as a beloved figure. Then, in May 2022, federal agents arrested him. Austin was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud as part of a $3.5 million COVID PPP loan scheme. The original Red Ranger, facing 20 years in federal prison. For fans who grew up idolizing Jason as the moral center of the team, this was devastating. On May 1, 2025, Austin was sentenced to 5 years probation and ordered to pay $225,000, narrowly avoiding prison. He also drew massive backlash in 2024 for announcing a clothing line featuring Hitler quotes before removing them after outcry. But Austin wasn't the only original Ranger who left in 1994 over money. 2 others walked out with him, and one of them just went public in 2026 about what really happened on that set. Walter Emmanuel Jones played Zach Taylor, the Black Ranger, from 1993 to 1994. At 25, he was the oldest original Ranger. Walter left alongside Austin and Thuy Trang in 1994. For decades, fans knew it was about money, but not the full story. Then, in January 2026, Walter went on the Taboo Comics and Kicks podcast and said what nobody else would. The cast weren't treated properly. They made $600 a week while the show generated billions. No residuals, no back end, nothing. This matters because it explains why 3 of the 5 original Rangers walked away from the biggest show on television. And then came April 2025. Power Rangers writer Tony Oliver publicly called it a mistake to cast a black actor as the Black Ranger and an Asian actress as the Yellow Ranger. Walter fired back on Instagram, calling his casting not a mistake, but a milestone as TV's first black superhero on a major kids show. He returned for Netflix's 2023 special Once and Always and released a single called Dance under the name Trey Emmanuel. The Black Ranger refused to stay silent, but the third person who walked out with Austin and Walter, she never got to tell her side of the story. Thuy Trang played Trini Kwan, the Yellow Ranger, from 1993 to 1994. Thuy's life before Power Rangers was already remarkable. Born in Vietnam in 1973, she fled with her family in 1979 on a cargo ship, nearly dying before reaching America. She trained in Shaolin Kung Fu, beat out 500 actresses for Trini. She left the show in 1994 with Austin, and Walter appeared in The Crow, City of Angels, had her whole career ahead of her. On September 3, 2001, Thuy was traveling to be a bridesmaid when the car crashed on Interstate 5. She was 27 years old. Amy Jo Johnson delivered her eulogy. The 2023 special Once and Always finally addressed Trini's death in universe, with her daughter becoming the new Yellow Ranger. The special was dedicated to Thuy and to another Ranger who wouldn't live to see it, because Thuy wasn't the only original cast member the franchise lost. The most popular Ranger of all time died just months before that special aired. Jason David Frank played Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, then the White Ranger, from 1993 to 1997. He wasn't supposed to last beyond 14 episodes. Fan demand made Tommy permanent. Jason became the most popular Ranger in franchise history, appearing in more episodes than anyone. He held an 8th degree black belt, competed professionally in MMA, built an entire career around being the guy kids wanted to be. In August 2022, Jason announced he'd retired from Power Rangers. 3 months later, on November 19, 2022, Jason took his life in a Texas hotel room. He was 49. His wife later revealed he'd been struggling with depression, worsened by the death of his stepdaughter the year before. Jason's final film, Legend of the White Dragon, released posthumously in 2024. At San Diego Comic-Con 2023, fans shouted, "We love you, Jason," at an empty chair beside his Green Ranger helmet. Tommy Oliver was the greatest Ranger ever. Jason made a generation believe they could be heroes. Now, those are the Rangers who left or who we lost, but what about the ones who stayed? The Pink Ranger built an entirely different career, and the Blue Ranger's story might be the most important one here. Amy Jo Johnson played Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, from 1993 to 1995. David Yost played Billy, the Blue Ranger, from 1993 to 1996, appearing in every single Mighty Morphin episode. Amy left in 1995 and actually escaped the Power Rangers shadow. She starred in Felicity, then 5 seasons of Flashpoint, released 4 albums, directed feature films. In 2024, she wrote a Power Rangers comic series as her gift to fans. David's story is darker. In 2010, he revealed why he really left. Crew members called him slurs. Producers questioned his sexuality behind his back. He couldn't take it anymore. After leaving, David attempted conversion therapy, suffered a nervous breakdown, was hospitalized for 5 weeks, moved to Mexico for a year before finally accepting himself. This matters because David didn't just survive, he came back. David returned for the 2023 Netflix special and became a series regular in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Mentoring new Rangers, he now advocates for LGBTQ+ youth through the Trevor Project. The Blue Ranger became the heart of representation in a franchise that once drove him away. So that's the original 5+ Tommy. But Power Rangers cycled through cast members constantly, and the replacements have stories just as wild. When Austin Walter and Tui left, the show needed new Rangers fast. Steve Cardenas became the new Red, Johnny Young Bosch became the new Black, Karan Ashley became the new Yellow. Steve had 0 acting experience when cast. After leaving during Turbo, he opened martial arts studios and mostly walked away from Hollywood. He turned down anniversary specials over low pay, publicly criticizing Saban for getting away with paying the minimum. Karan was already in the music industry. Hakshit, her R&B group KRUSH, had a platinum record. After Power Rangers, she appeared on Kenan and Kel and The Steve Harvey Show. In 2025, she co-founded Ranger Stop and PopCon, bringing 67 Power Rangers actors to Atlanta. But Johnny's career went somewhere nobody expected. Johnny Young Bosch stumbled into voice acting after Power Rangers and became one of anime's biggest stars. Ichigo in Bleach, Lelouch in Code Geass, Vash in Trigun, over 300 credits. He's voicing Dante in the 2025 Devil May Cry series right now. The quiet Black Ranger became the voice of a generation's anime childhood. And speaking of replacements, when Amy Jo Johnson left, an Australian actress faked her martial arts audition to take over. Here's what happened to her. Catherine Sutherland played Kat, the second Pink Ranger, from 1995 to 1997. Paul Schreier and Jason Narvi played Bulk and Skull, the comic relief duo who appeared in over 400 episodes. Catherine admitted she faked her martial arts audition. She originally tried out for the first Power Rangers movie, was deemed too young, but got called when Amy left. After Turbo, she stepped away to become a personal trainer and raise 2 kids. Paul Schreier became the longest appearing cast member in franchise history. He directed episodes during the show's run and finally became a Ranger himself in 2017, playing the Yellow Ranger in Power Rangers Hyperforce. But Jason Narvi might have the most unexpected path of all. After Power Rangers, Jason Narvi went back to school, earned a doctorate in theater history. He's now Dr. Jason Narvi, teaching at university level while still doing conventions. Skull was the dim sidekick. But the actor became a scholar. Now, we've covered the Rangers and the comic relief. There's one more group, the voice actors who made the villains iconic, and we've already lost 2 of them. Barbara Goodson voiced Rita Repulsa. Robert Axelrod voiced Lord Zed and Finster. Kerrigan Mahan voiced Goldar. These 3 created the sounds that defined childhood nightmares. Kerrigan Mahan's original Goldar voice was so intense it damaged his vocal cords. He had to develop a new, lower growl that became the character's signature. He returned for the 2019 video game Battle for the Grid and still does conventions. Barbara Goodson is 76 and still working constantly. She voiced Mother Talzin in Star Wars The Clone Wars, won a Best Actress award, and returned as Robo Rita for the 2023 special. In 2025, she's voicing Rita again in the remastered Power Rangers Re-Ignition. Robert Axelrod made Lord Zed so terrifying that parents complained and producers had to soften the character. Robert died September 7, 2019 from complications of spinal surgery. He was 70. His agency said he enjoyed meeting his fans and inspiring them to follow their passions. Lord Zedd wanted to destroy the Power Rangers. Robert created a villain worthy of their heroism, and there's one more loss we haven't mentioned. Someone who was never a Ranger, never a villain, but meant just as much to fans. Richard Janelle played Ernie, the owner of the Angel Grove Youth Center juice bar from 1993 to 1997. Ernie never morphed, never fought monsters, but for millions of kids, he was the warm adult presence that made Angel Grove feel like home. The juice bar was where the Rangers gathered, where friendships formed, where normal life existed between battles. Richard left after Zeo due to health problems related to his weight. He lost 40 pounds and founded a transportation company. On December 30th, 2008, Richard Janelle died of a heart attack. He was 47. In 2013, Power Rangers Megaforce introduced a new character named Ernie as tribute. The juice bar owner made childhood feel warmer for everyone who watched. So that's 16 cast members. 4 we've lost: Tui, Jason David Frank, Robert Axelrod, and Richard Janelle. 1 sentenced for fraud, 1 who survived harassment to become an advocate, 1 who became an anime legend, 1 who became a doctor of theater. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers paid its stars $600 a week while generating billions. The show nearly destroyed some of them. But something unexpected happened along the way. The Rangers became real. In 2025, remastered episodes hit streaming platforms, introducing new generations to the originals. The franchise hit 30 seasons, and every time a kid watches that first episode, every time Rita screams, "Make my monster grow," those teenagers live again. If you want to see what happened to another iconic 90s cast, check out our Married with Children video right here, and subscribe if you want more deep dives into the casts that defined your childhood. Go, go, Power Rangers, forever.